Welcome back to another Tuesday Trivia. I have another 10 movies for you. This week I'm doing action movies from any time, so no specific decade. But Flo and I will be giving you the synopsis, and you have to guess the movie. So let's get into it. Welcome back, physical media and trivia fans. I have another 10 movies for you for Trivia Tuesday. I will be reading you the synopsis from the Video Hounds Golden Movie Retriever, and I will omit any identifying characters or actors or words, places, so that I don't just give it away in the synopsis. If you don't get it from the synopsis, then I will give you the year of release. I'll give you the cast in reverse order of billing. Usually, sometimes I fiddle with that a little bit, and then I give you the director, then I give you the answer, and once again this week I have fun facts for you, so I'll be giving you fun facts for each of the titles. The theme this week is action movies, so I'm not doing a specific decade, but it is all action movies or movies that have kind of a heavy emphasis on action sequences. So let's get into it. I'm not doing title cards or the slides again this week, just because I don't have time. I'm traveling over the next couple weeks, so I'm trying to record these ahead of time and then schedule them for dropping on Tuesday while I'm away. So hopefully I get that all done, but sorry if you did like the title cards. They will be back. Just not this week, and maybe not next week either. I don't think I'm going to be able to do them for next week, but I'll get back to them. I don't mind doing them, and hopefully they'll help you all. I did watch my last trivia video with the auto-generated subtitles on YouTube, and it worked fine. So if you need that for accessibility, you can switch on the closed captioning. Let's get into it. Movie number one. The title character gets a gift of a puppy posthumously from his recently deceased wife. The dog means a lot to him. When a trio of Russian mobsters kills the dog, he goes off the edge, and you don't want him off the edge. He embarks upon a campaign of destruction, taking out those who wronged him in violent, butt-kicking ways. This action flick is a clever throwback to the stunt-driven films of the 80s and 90s before CGI took over the genre. In fact, the stunt choreography makes the film, and that's a compliment. You can hear the bones crunch. So this one might be kind of easy, especially if you like action movies. I'm sure you've seen this one before. I have a mix of easy and hard ones in here, but this movie came out in 2014. The cast is Alfie Allen, Willem Dafoe, and Keanu Reeves. That might give it away. The director is Chad Stahelski. And if I did not pronounce that right, I'm sorry. I do my best with the name pronunciations. And this movie is John Wick. John Wick. So, you know, on a bloody tear of revenge over the murder of his dog given to him by his late wife. The fun fact that I have for you for John Wick is that the final fight between John and Viggo was originally intended to be much longer, but it was cut when the filmmakers realized that Viggo was not as formidable a figure as some of the bad guys that Wick had already defeated. So one of the things that I've read online, people complaining about this detail in John Wick, that the fight shouldn't have been that hard with Viggo because he's an old dude and whatever. I can see both sides of that. He's an old dude, but he's also been in the Russian mafia for who knows how long. He's probably tough as nails. But originally, they wanted that fight to be much longer and a little bit more epic, and probably realized that people would be complaining about that, so they cut it short. Movie number two. Indonesian director-writer Blank shows Hollywood how to make a memorable and incredibly savage action film with his remarkable martial arts choreography. Not Martian arts. Martial arts choreography. Tells the tale of a SWAT team trying to take down Jakarta drug lord Tama, who happens to have an entire building worth of reprobates on his side. As the team faces wave after wave of enemies, creative set pieces include an exploding fridge and a pitch black stairwell shootout. If you haven't seen this one, it is great. If you have seen this one, you might get it just from this synopsis, but it also could describe maybe a couple of movies. The year is 2011. The cast, I'm going to try my best on these names, are Yayan Ruhian, Joe Taslim, and Iko Uwais. Like I said, I try my best. Hopefully I'm not doing a disservice to these folks. The director is Gareth Evans. This movie is The Raid or The Raid Redemption, depending on where you saw it. The fun fact that I have for you for The Raid is that to achieve the uninterrupted shot moving from outside of the car to the inside of the car, they had a cameraman disguised as a car seat. I think you can tell for a second in the movie if you're looking closely. So somebody was disguised as a car seat. They handed the camera into the car. The cameraman who was disguised as the car seat grabbed it and continued filming inside of the car. So that's pretty clever, a little bit of scrappy, I hate to say DIY, because it does have a budget, filmmaking. Movie number 3. Emperor Marcus Aurelius decides to name victorious General Maximus his heir over his own son, the decadent Commodus. But Commodus manages to take over the empire anyway. Maximus is betrayed, his family killed, and he is sold as a slave. Then he returns to Rome to fight before the new emperor and get his revenge. Unlike the cheesy Italian muscle epics of the early 60s, this is swords, sandals, and killer beasts for a new generation with a compelling hero. So this one might be an easy one. I think it probably one of the easier ones. The year is 2000. The cast is Connie Nielsen, Joaquin Phoenix, and Russell Crowe. The director is Ridley Scott. Did you get it? Are you not entertained? This movie is Gladiator. I have 2 fun facts for this. One is a quick personal fun fact. I saw this movie at the Cinerama Dome in LA when it came out, maybe even opening night. And sitting directly in front of me, I could have braided his hair, was Tim Burton. So I sat with Tim Burton to watch this movie. I didn't say anything to him, but he was right there. The other fun fact I have for you is that the motto in the film, Strength and Honor, was borrowed from Russell Crowe's own high school motto, Veritate et Virtute, which actually means truth and honor, but Crowe misremembered when he suggested it to say strength and honor. Number 4. So this one has a lot of redacted names, so I'm going to do my best to fill in. The leads in the same scene, together, finally, obsessive master thief Macaulay leads a crack crew on various military-style heists across LA, while equally obsessive detective Hannah tracks him. Each man recognizes and respects the other's ability and dedication, even as they express the willingness to kill each other, if necessary. Excellent script with all the fireworks you'd expect, as well as a surprising look into an emotional and personal sacrifice. Beautiful cinematography shows industrial landscape to great effect. So how's that sound? This one might be ringing bells, hopefully. Maybe you got it. The year is 1995. The cast is Val Kilmer, Al Pacino, and Robert De Niro. Not sure who got top billing on that one, but they were listed in the reverse of that order in the Video Hounds Golden Movie Retriever. So that's how I did it. The director is Michael Mann. Michael Mann's a heavy hitter with some great films under his belt. Collateral was great. To Live and Die in L.A., Manhunter, some great Michael Mann movies. This movie is Heat. Heat. The fun fact that I have for you for Heat is that Mann wrote and refined the screenplay over 12 years. It was even developed into a TV pilot in 1989 called L.A. Takedown that was scuttled as a show but released by NBC as a made-for-TV movie. I did not know that. Movie number 5. Blank leads a team of CIA-hired mercenaries into the Central American jungles to rescue hostages. They encounter an alien force that begins to attack them one by one. Soon, it's just him and the beast in this attention-grabbing but sometimes silly suspense film. It's interesting they call it a suspense film. It has aliens and a lot of action in it. The year is 1987. The cast is Jesse Ventura, Carl Weathers, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. The director is John McTiernan. And this movie is Predator. It's a Predator classic action sci-fi movie with Arnold. The fun fact that I have for you for this one is somewhat well known, or at least part of it. The original idea for the Predator had it doing martial arts in hand-to-hand combat. Jean-Claude Van Damme was cast and shot some scenes with the early creature design. But both ended up getting the axe, the costume for being too hot and inflexible, and Van Damme for being too short, according to the producers. I've heard various accounts of why Van Damme was removed from this picture, but I've also heard that the producer said he was too short. He wasn't cutting a formidable enough figure as the Predator. Movie number 6. And appropriately, this is the 6th installment, demonstrates that the franchise shows no sign of slowing down. Thank goodness. Continuing the story from the previous film, the main character, played by Blank, who at 56 miraculously refuses to age, his team and a few new allies trek the globe to reacquire 3 plutonium cores stolen by the Apostles, a nefarious group led by fundamentalist John Lark. The action is relentless, the stunts are mind-blowing, the set pieces are magnificent, and the story holds together throughout. A near-perfect summer blockbuster. So you know this is a 6th sequel in a franchise, but do you know which one? The year is 2018. The cast is Rebecca Ferguson, Ving Rhames, and Tom Cruise. The director is the great Christopher McQuarrie. And this movie is Mission Impossible Fallout. Mission Impossible Fallout. The fun fact that I have for you is stunt-based. Pretty much all of the trivia and behind-the-scenes stuff that I found when I was looking this up all had to do with stunts. I was kind of trying to find something maybe about the writing or casting or whatever, but after digging through a few pages of Google results, I decided to go ahead with a stunt one. But it is pretty interesting. It's pretty well known that Tom Cruise broke his ankle doing some of his own stunts, and in this movie in particular, he was doing a rooftop chase. There were, some wire stunts where he was jumping from building to building, and he landed kind of weird and broke his ankle, and he kind of limped forward to keep the shot going. That didn't make it into the final cut, but parts of that shot where he broke his ankle was actually used, and then they finished shooting what they needed to shoot maybe not several, but they finished it months later and then stitched those together. So it looks seamless when you watch it, but those were shot at very different times. So that was kind of interesting. Little behind the scenes movie making info. Movie number 7. The main character is back, and the lead actor does not destroy the franchise as the whiners would have you believe. Based on Blank's first 1953 novel, the main character is still learning his way. He may be blondish, but he's brutal, ruthless, and arrogant, and he bleeds. Story revolves around a high-stakes poker game with a Eurotrash banker to terrorists, and the babe is Vesper Lind, a sexy, cool accountant. Blank returns, and she and the main character share some of the best moments as she tries to keep her blunt instrument in line. It's a little too long, but the lead actor proves he can wear a tux, say his iconic line, and kill, which is what true aficionados require. I had to redact a lot of stuff and change a lot of stuff in this one. They were using character names, they were using the actors' names in this synopsis from the Golden Retriever. The year is 2006. 2006. The cast: Eva Green, Mads Mikkelsen, and Daniel Craig. So Daniel Craig might have given it away if you haven't figured it out by now. The director is Martin Campbell. And this movie is Casino Royale. Casino Royale. The fun fact I have for you is another made-for-TV fun fact. This is not the character Le Chiffre's first screen appearance. Casino Royale was adapted into a teleplay for CBS for an anthology series that they were doing called Climax, with an exclamation point. In the 1950s, Peter Lorre played the character in that episode. So that's kind of cool. And then kind of well-known, Peter Sellers did a parody version called Casino Royale in the 60s, 70s maybe. But in the 50s was the first time that character saw some screen time there. Movie number 8. This director is back with a vengeance. Blank is spectacular as the main character, a former assassin betrayed and left for dead at her wedding by her associates and mysterious boss, Blank. When she awakens from a coma 4 years later, she begins a mission of revenge that takes her from suburban LA to Okinawa to Tokyo. The director joyfully and masterfully immerses the audience in the different styles of ultraviolence of the Asian cinema he loves so much, even using anime for one backstory sequence, with some spaghetti western and 70s TV added for spice. His trademark sharp dialogue is not as plentiful in this as in the past, but what's here is layered, sometimes moving, and often humorous. The synopsis do enough for you? Did you get it? The year is 2003. The cast is Vivica A. Fox, Lucy Liu, and Uma Thurman. Hopefully you got it from that. It's a good one. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. The director is Quentin Tarantino. And this movie is Kill Bill Volume 1. So it is the first half of the whole bloody affair. It was originally meant to be one movie, but it was very bulky, so they released it 6 months apart as Volume 1 and Volume 2. The fun fact that I have for you is that Thurman and Tarantino had a falling out during shooting when Tarantino insisted that Thurman really drive rather than be towed by a camera car. Due to the poor conditions of the car and the sandy track they were shooting on, Thurman crashed and sustained injuries. She was rightly angry with the director after that. The rightly part is my little bit of 2 cents there. It sounds like she got some injuries and they could have been fatal. So I understand why she was mad at Tarantino for that. Movie number 9. 2 veteran Wudang fighters in 19th century China recognize their passion for each other while tracking down a vengeful master criminal and her protege. A martial arts love story that satisfies on both accounts. The emotional impact of the romance is as real and true as the choreographed fight scenes are spectacular and graceful. The film's overt feminism flies literally in the face of its patriarchal setting, yet doesn't seem a bit out of place. The extraordinary battle scenes were choreographed by Yuen Wo-ping, who performed the same duties for The Matrix. Again, I try my best on all these pronunciations. Hopefully I did it right. The year is 2000. The cast is, I'm going to try my best, Ji Yi Shang, maybe? Michelle Yeoh, I can't remember how to pronounce that, and Chow Yun-fat. The director is Ang Lee. And this movie is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I have two fun facts for this one as well. One personal and one for everybody. The personal one is when I saw this in the theater in LA, we had a little bit of an aftershock at the time. And so, I moved around on my seat a little bit from this small earthquake. And I thought, is that the base in the theater next door or something? But it was a little bit of an aftershock. It was mild. The other fun fact that I have for you is that shooting in the famously dry Gobi Desert was delayed several days due to rain. Lee said that they had burned incense for good luck, but were rained out anyway. He later learned that the locals burned incense to bring rain. So the locals thought he was very lucky to get rain burning incense, and he did not want the rain from burning incense. Last one, movie number 10. Sharing an amazing amount of creative DNA with video games like Halo and Gears of War, this sci-fi blockbuster is one of the rare pieces of Hollywood escapism that completely delivers on that which it promises. Blank plays Case, a man thrown into a waking nightmare when he's forced to the front line of the battle against an alien race that has been kicking human ass. Case is almost instantly killed, but he returns to the start of that day, a la Groundhog Day, and is forced to try again. Joining forces with the fantastic Blank as the Force's best soldier. Cage could be the answer for human survival. So this one's based on a book. It doesn't say the author's name, or I would have read that, because I don't think most people would get it. It wouldn't give it away. It's not Stephen King. Or Ian Fleming, which I redacted in the Casino Royale synopsis. The year is 2014. The cast is Bill Paxton, Emily Blunt, and Tom Cruise. The director is Doug Liman. And this movie is Edge of Tomorrow, or if you're looking at the poster or the Blu-ray DVD case, Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. I don't know why it seems to have Live, Die, Repeat as the main message on their cover art, but I guess it's also known as Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. It's based on the book All You Need Is Kill, and it is very fun, quick read. Highly recommended. The fun fact that I have for you for this one is that many of the iconic locations in the film were added in post. So they did those in green screen, whether they're at the Louvre or whatever, wherever. But the shot of the helicopter landing in Trafalgar Square was actually done practically. So they had a small window of time where they could shoot this helicopter landing in Trafalgar Square, and they did that practically, which is kind of fun. Another fun fact about this whole list. I have a couple of Christopher McQuarrie movies in here. Christopher McQuarrie wrote this one, and he directed one of the other ones. And then I think I have 2 Shane Black penned movies in here. At least Predator. Maybe one other one, but I can't remember. Anyway, that's all I have for you for this week. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for watching this far. If you want to like and subscribe, I would appreciate that quite a bit. But if you don't, that's okay too. I just appreciate you being here. Either way, you'll see me the next time I post. Thanks.